Hello, welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 200! I feel like there should be fireworks.
There should be jazz hands.
I don't know how to do jazz hands, so apparently I fail. I can do fireworks and roller coaster, which go whee! But I can't do jazz hands.
So, welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 200, like Laura said. I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les.
I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
And yeah, so this is officially the 200th
And it's
episode.
an anniversary. They fell together.
Yeah, it's our 4-year anniversary
Holy
of
moly.
podcasting.
That's a long
Yes.
time. Julia was like 1 when we started.
I was going to say, if we had birthed a child when we started, then that child would be potty trained
And fixing to
finishing
go to
preschool.
kindergarten.
Yeah. So, it's fun most of the time, unless you have technical difficulties, and then it becomes less fun.
That's
But anyway, yeah, I'm Leslie. Did you introduce yourself? I forgot already.
Yes,
Okay.
I introduced myself.
Sorry. I took a 3-hour nap, and so I'm just like...
Oh, I wish I had taken a 3-hour nap. I did sleep until 8 today.
8 is sleeping in.
It is. When you have to get up at 5:30 every morning, 8 is sleeping in. And yesterday I was up at 6. I've been having like crazy nightmares lately, so I haven't been sleeping a whole lot. Which makes me super fun to be around.
So, works in progress. Why don't you talk about what you're doing?
The only thing really I've worked on all week long has been my Tubularity by Martina Bem. It starts... Let me fix it to be how it's supposed to be. Okay. Oh. Flip that. Okay. So it starts with a triangle, a garter stitch triangle. And then you pick up and work in the round and work on the bias. My first color was the cherry colorway of Madeline Tosh Light. Then I went into a gray trekking that I used for the heels and toes and a couple pairs of socks. And then I went on to Jinx yarn in this gorgeous purple. And so I'm on the third color now. Each stripe is, I'm just doing it, so it's supposed to be around 42 inches, I think. So I'm just, and you can see where it dips in a little bit now, where I forgot to increase or decrease. That was decreases. It'll block out.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fun. So it's 7 colors, and it's intended to be used with one of the Miss Babs kits, but I wanted to use up some stash because I have little odds and ends everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only so many Magic Cake Ruffle thick balls I can do. So, one of my neighbors is mowing their lawn. Superb. So I'm just going to, with the red, it was really where I just got bored. And I was like, I'm done with this, because I still have yarn left.
So I'm going to move on to the exciting gray.
Yeah. And then with the gray, I wanted to get, I want to do the stripes in the main section 7 inches, because 42 divided, whatever, I did the math, and it's around 7 inches. So, hopefully I did the math correctly. I've been having difficulties with math lately. So
I have like a lifelong arm wrestle with math, so
7 inches of gray, and then there'll be 7 inches of the purple from Jinx yarn, and this is in my big huge sweater, steampunk sweater bag from the Fat Squirrel. Because look, it keeps all the things.
it has a dog playing a banjo on it.
Yes, it's got a cat that Joanna Springs says is Humberto's girlfriend, and that's why I had to buy the bag.
Wearing a strapless dress.
Yes,
with
and a bow in her hair. Actually, I can picture some of my teens wearing that exact outfit, I think. So other colors that are in here currently, some might come and some might go. There is another Crafty Girl in the Punky Brewster, some Socks That Rock in a light blue, and then Mad Tosh. Mad Tosh versus Madeline Tosh. No, not Mad Tosh. What was her name?
Macintosh.
Macintosh. So there's those 3 in there. And then I'm thinking about doing a stripe section. I really want to add in a stripe section because I'm crazy. And Fiber Nymph Dye Works, Lisa Beamer, had sent me sorry for all the crinkling. She sent 100 yards of each charcoal gray and china blue in her bounce space when she was first getting started. It's her stuff. So I'm thinking about striping these two at some point too. If I do stripe these two, I might get rid of the socks that rock blue and change it out for something else.
But it really just depends on your mood at the time that you're getting ready to put something
It does. Like, I kind of check and make sure that it kind of matches with everything else, but yeah.
Whatever. Life's short.
That's the perk of using up scraps, is that you can just go with the flow, and I'm very go with the flow with this project. The teenagers have viewed the project page and approved of this project, so that's always good. They said it's very stylish, and they can't wait to see me wear it. And I was like, you might have to wait till next year, because it's like 90 degrees outside.
Yeah.
So, Tubularity by Martina Them, being worked on size 3, 3.25 millimeters, which is larger than the pattern calls for, but I like the drape that I'm getting with it. And I'm just going to town on it. So, that's a decent amount of knitting, I feel like, for a week.
Yeah. Especially on size 3s.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's around 400 yards in it already, so.
It's a pair of socks, essentially.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Probably. But I knit socks at a tighter gauge. But that's the Lollipop socks that I'm knitting on size 1, the Afterthought heels, are still where they were, and my antler is still where it is. I was going to pick it up and work on it, but Mom is out of town visiting the grandkids, and there was really no point in working hard on that until she gets back and can put in a zipper. So, that is about it for me.
Okay. Well, I have a few things. One is the Magic Cake Ruffle Shawl, which I haven't touched since last week, so I'm not going to even pull that out. The second is with my Juno Fiber Arts Buffy Tuffy is the base, and it's in the Gnome colorway. And I really am loving this yarn. It's got a super tight twist, and it's really compacted.
I like the colors for Gnomes.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I do too. And I'm knitting a pattern called Marooned, which is by Hunter Hammerson, who did the Knitter's Curiosity Cabinet Volumes 1 and 2, as well as other independent patterns and other things, I'm sure.
Yep.
And I'm realizing that I don't love pattern socks as much as I love plain vanilla socks, just because I have to think a little bit with pattern socks.
I like
so
it,
these
though.
haven't gotten much love. I knit on them for maybe 3 hours. This is 3 hours worth of work.
I like how the slip stitches really break up the colors.
Yeah, and it gives it a nice stretch. But
see, I would not think that that would give it stretch. I would think
it
that
does,
that
because there's there's twisted stitches, there's slip stitches, and there's purl stitches in there with the
gotcha
with these purl columns here.
Yeah.
So it does give it some stretch,
cool.
Which is nice. It's not as easy as plain vanilla, so they haven't got as much attention.
Gotcha.
And this is in my Bling Your String, my first art bag shipment. And so on Friday night, I spun a bunch this week. That's mostly what I've been doing, so I'll show you that later, but I just decided I needed something mindless, and I actually sat for like an hour and a half and did no crafting whatsoever, and just was sitting and texting and playing on my phone, just because I was putting off knitting on the Juno socks, because I wanted something simple. I don't know where my sock
I've been doing Candy Mania for my brain breaks. I'm totally calling it brain breaks, but anytime a life has built up and I have time.
Yeah. I've been Juice Cubes is my new one for that.
Oh. I'm on 250 of Candy Mania.
Oh, no, I think I'm on like 60 or 70. So this is Desert Vista Dye Works, and it is in the Nashville Nights colorway, which I picked up at last year's SSK.
Cool.
In her zine base, Z-I-E-N. And this is what it looks like in the skein. So It's got stellina It's got sections of black
Primary
mixed in
colors.
with sections of the yellow, blue, red, purple, dark blue.
Cool.
So this is what it looks like.
Nice. I like the variegation in the
Yeah.
in the non-black stripes.
So it's simple and brainless, and it's just what the doctor ordered when I'm like sitting in bed, you know, and shotgunning Veronica Mars episodes, and I just need something
I need
easy
to pick back up Veronica Mars. I stopped after, like, way back when it was on Netflix. I stopped after season 2 because I was having Veronica Mars dreams.
Yeah.
And that is a sign that I've been watching a TV show way too much.
So I turned the heel and I'm working down the foot. It's just a vanilla sock, 72 stitches. I did a couple inches of ribbing at the top and a Fish Lips Kiss heel. And so I'm working down the foot now. I'm using my Nova, Knitter's Pride Nova 2.25 millimeter needles. And it's living in a bag that my friend Dorian made for me.
Oh, cute!
Which is, it's really cute. She's not like, she doesn't do this for a living or anything, but it's got like, it's separated in here because
cool.
she does 2 at a time.
Yeah, that's
so a
smart.
place for each ball as well as a place for your notions, a zippered pouch, and it's got the little
yeah, the strap for the yarn.
Yeah.
Dorian was on the front page of Ravelry for the House Cup thing. Very cool.
For her cool colorwork sweater.
She does gorgeous sweaters.
She does. She does beautiful work. And that's it. That's all that I'm working on. I don't have any FOs.
You didn't work on the Magic Cake Ruffle Shuffle?
Mm-mm.
Ruffle
I put it
Shuffle?
down after we recorded, and it's just still sitting right there.
Gotcha. I'd almost called it the Truffle Shuffle, which is now what it's going to be in my head for forever. I finished something.
You did.
So last week we were talking about my bind-off woes with the Red Robin shawl, and I decided to rip out the beads and just do the bind-off that it called for because I was overthinking it.
I really like that ruffle.
Yeah, I don't know why it's ruffling, but it is. That's fine.
I like it.
And it'll probably walk out straight. So it has not been blocked yet, and ends have not been woven in, but they sorry, remember what I told you was going to happen? It totally happened. Leslie texted Michael before we started and told him to text me, and then he just texted me, and I'm easily distracted. So anyway, this is out of Juno Yarns Alice. It's gorgeous. It is 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere. One skein is 437 yards, reading is good, of a 4-ply sock yarn. The colorway is Raisin. I love it lots. I will be buying more of this. And the shawl is the Red Robin by
Helen Stewart.
Helen Stewart, yep. And she's got a great podcast. I listened to a couple episodes the other day when I was shotgunning stuff. It was knit on size 6 signatures. I have no idea what that is in metric.
4 millimeters.
There. Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay. Because my 3s are 3.5. So how could...
No, your 3s are 3.25. 4s are 3.5. 5s are 3.75.
Okay. Okay. I believe you. So it looks like that, and it will be blocked as soon as the blocking boards are free. So, they've got stuff on them right now. And that's all I finished. Have you finished anything?
Nope.
Okay.
I finished a bunch of spinning.
Yeah, go for it, because I have no spinning.
Alright, let me get to the end of this row. So, yeah, this week I've been using spinning as an excuse not to knit. But that's okay. Last week I had started the Cloud Lover Fiber Club from 2011. It's Rambouillet is the yarn, or the fiber. And I got 390 yards of about, I would have guessed it was more of a sport until I soaked it. And now it's definitely a DK, if not a worsted. So... oh god, that's a terrible image. Like I have to snap it out so all the lines are actually there.
It's pretty. It's very spring.
So it's a 2-ply, and it's got the really nice yellow and gold and purples in there. It's very soft and like Rambouillet. I keep wanting to think I'm saying that wrong. It's got a lot of spring and it's very stretchy, which I like. So this is actually going to a friend of mine. We decided we were going to do a swap. So
Fun.
She's going to send me some of her hand spun, and because I am terrible at obligations, like terrible. As soon as it becomes an obligation, I want nothing to do with it. So I went ahead and got this out of the way so that I wouldn't be the last person involved in this. But
there you go.
So that's one thing done, and it's 2-ply. Everything I'm showing you this week is a 2-ply.
Cool.
And then
That's
after
the
that,
first.
Laura and I got some Three Waters Farm to test out because
That's why I need to see Michael, because he's our fiber mule.
he's the mule for all the stuff I had to send to you. So we decided we got a couple of different kinds of Three Waters Farm to try out, and this is the BFL, 100% BFL in the Cold Sunny Morning colorway, and it's Three Waters Farm, which you can get on Etsy. And this, like I said, was BFL, and it drafted like a dream. It was the perfect BFL. And this kind of spinning is actually really what makes me happy, because it's quick. I got 4 ounces spun in like, I don't know, 3 hours maybe, and then plied it pretty quickly as well. But I really, really love when it's just got a nice round ply, and it's just big and thick, and I don't know how to describe it, but this is like my happy place in spinning because it's quick. After I took a class with JC Boggs, it's actually pretty easy as far as how to spin thicker yarn.
You slow your feet way down.
Yeah, and you speed your hands up.
Yep.
So,
and you use a bigger pulley.
And as little tension as possible. So I really, really love this.
It's gorgeous. Do you have any plans for it?
I don't yet. It's only 154 yards.
It'd be a great hat.
But this type of spinning where it's the nice big fat individual ply, and it gives it a super round plied yarn, it just makes me so happy. So I don't necessarily have to have plans, just knowing I made it makes me happy.
Good. It's nice and bright, which I like.
Yeah. And then I did another fiber the exact same way. Big, fat individual plies, and then spun them together. And this is Knitter's Nightmare, and this was Falkland, and this was in her Japan colorway. And it actually makes me think of Japanese, like the pictures that you see of Tokyo with all the, like Hello Kitty and anime characters and all that.
Yeah, with all the bright lights.
Yeah, it's got the sort of bright colors popped in there with the white. I really like this.
That's really pretty. Have you washed and soaked that yet?
Mm-hmm. And it plumped up. Both of these two are probably bulky weights after they plumped.
Yeah.
And again, this probably
Did you say yardage on that?
This one was, I wrote it down, 166. So they're both around 160-ish yards a piece.
That would be a fun, there's a cowl called Cherry Garcia that's done out of a bulky weight. That would be a fun cowl of some kind.
So, I don't know.
Because if it was mine and I did like mitts or something out of it, that white would become black and short.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, this makes me happy. I really, really like the big fat spinning.
Yeah.
I need to do like a 3-ply with the big fat spinning and see how that turns out.
I like doing loop fats as a Navajo ply with the big fat. I think
I've got one like that we spun on like Christmas last year or the year before last.
Something like that.
Yeah, where it's like fun. I think I got, I don't know, 80 yards or something, but it was super bulky.
So for those of you who have never seen a loop before, they are center pull bumps and they are gradients. So if you spin them bulky, you get this super bulky gradient thing. I wish I had
Because when you chain ply, you're making a 1 ply into a 3 ply, so it becomes triple thick.
Yeah.
Than the original ply.
Definitely.
If that makes sense.
I must have used all mine up. Oh, I did. I knit that cowl for Becca out of mine. That's what I did with it.
I remember that.
It was like rasta thickness.
So, that's the spinning. We do have a book review.
We do.
And I'm going to go ahead and just tell y'all I'm biased because I really love Rachel Coopy.
She's fun.
Yeah.
So this retails for £12 sterling.
Which right now is around $20 US.
Okay. And it is Coopknits Toasty. It is 10 designs, all out of the tightest yarn, and they're all accessories. So yes. Right off the bat, I really like the color work in here. Mm-hmm. There's some really pretty color work things. Since there's only 10 designs, I think we can just go ahead and talk about all of them, but there is a visual index.
Got a nice visual index.
Which we love.
It's got a picture of Rachel.
With the introduction, and it talks about the tightest yarn, which I actually have a skein that I bought at House of Yarn a couple of years ago. It is 70% British wool, 30% UK alpaca. The wool portion is 50% Wensleydale long wool, and then 20% Blueface Leicester, and then there's that 30% UK alpaca. It is 100% British, and it's spun in Yorkshire, but it is available in the US. I paid $24.75 for this at House of Yarn over the summer, and Titus is actually done by Ba Ram Yu, and it's got, you can see, a very nice halo to it, which lends itself to a really nice color work, and it kind of softens cable work.
Yeah, so as I was looking through this book, and there is a bit in the back about the yarn, and then I went online and read the reviews on Ravelry of the yarn, and then decided that, oh my god, I need this yarn. Which doesn't happen often when I'm looking at a design book, because usually I can think in my mind of what I would substitute in my stash. I really do want to try some of these designs with the yarn that's specified. So the first pattern is Vedeo, which is a color work pattern, and I really dig how they did the decreases and kept the color work going.
I like that. I like how it looks like a mess of snowflake at the top. It is sized in 3 different sizes, which I always appreciate. And they're larger sizes, so if you don't want to mess up your hair, you can go between a 22 to a 26 inch or 56 to 66 centimeters. And that's done to fit. We're going to talk about ease later.
Nice big charts.
But this uses actually positive ease. So it's nice and slouchy. Yep, nice big charts. The second is Thirsk. There we go. And it is a cowl. It is a cabled cowl. Yeah, I'd love to see it in a lighter color.
Yeah, or just better lit.
But it's really, really pretty. And you can tell by the chart the cable work that is offset with knits and purls.
Yeah, it's got a lot of reverse stockinette setting off the cables, which I think would be really interesting to see a nice clear picture of.
I feel like it might actually make the piece a little bit reversible. So if you wanted to fold it down a little bit, you could do that. And it uses 1 skein.
Of the Titus, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
This is one of my favorite patterns in the book. This is Northallerton, which is a slouchy colorwork hat with 3 colors.
I love the deep ribbing on that.
And I love how slouchy it is with the pom-pom at the end. And there's a slightly lighter picture of it.
And there are 3 sizes on that as well.
The charts are color-coded to the yarns that are used in the pattern.
That's always nice.
Yeah, so this uses 3 skeins. I would imagine not all of the skeins. And like Laura mentioned in the other hat, it's meant to have a little bit of positive ease.
Then there is a Skewb, which I think of as more of a traditional Fair Isle pattern, but it does use twisted ribbing at the bottom to really show it off. Really pretty. I'd love to replace that white with a gray just because I've talked about white and mittens earlier for
attracting dirt, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I am a dirt attractor.
I really dig how the hat looks. Like, I like that it gives this sort of impression of being vertical. I don't know how to say that without sounding stupid, but
well, it has vertical lines to it as well as the horizontal motifs of the Fair Isle.
Yeah.
So, whereas the mittens are kind of opposite that. They're just all horizontal lines. Mm-hmm. So together as a set, they work really well.
Yeah. I like the Cathar, which they're mitts that they use a single skein.
And I think that's what I'm going to do out of my single skein in here.
Nice cable offset with reverse stockinette. So that seems to be a design element that is carried through the book, which I always appreciate, the continuity.
Yep. Nice clear charts, 3 sizes, going from 6 all the way up to 8 inches, or 15 to 20.5 centimeters. I also appreciate for the non-European ones of us that she does do the U.S.
The imperial and the metric.
She does the metric, and then on the needle she does UK and US sizes. Mm-hmm. So all 3 are listed, which I appreciate.
Yes, and then the next is...
I think Michael's knocking at my door.
Okay, well, I'll...
It's your fault.
Go.
You continue.
I'll
get my door real fast.
Sorry. Next is Ripone, which is a cabled hat, and it's got all kinds of cables in it, which I really love, and it only takes a single skein, which is cool. So there's this, it's this beautiful orange color, which reminds me of Amy Beth, but it's got several different cables in it, and I really like how the brim works.
I'm totally
into
making
the cable.
things up. That's pretty.
Yeah. I was saying I like how the brim works into the cable and it's not an abrupt shift. Like it's planned thoughtfully.
Yes, I like that. No, it's Bible verse Sunday in the South. And my door's like, it's open kind of. Like I've got my storm door locked, but like my door's open. That's why I was like, I better go see who's knocking at my door.
Okay, so the next hat is Catterick. God, I hope I'm saying that right. And this is a little bit of a simpler version, so if you're not quite ready to tackle the full-on lots of cables one, this is an alternative, and it's a really nice pale yellow, which has no effect on the design.
And it has multiple cables.
Yeah, it almost looks like a butterfly at the brim.
Yeah.
So that might be a hat for a young girl. And
I do like the slouchiness of the hat patterns throughout here.
Yeah. Well, that's the style right now, which I mean, that's how I prefer to wear mine, is slouchy.
Yep. And it doesn't mess up your hair.
Yeah. The next is a scarf, and it uses 2 skeins of the Titus, and it is Melton.
I love the long ribbing on this. So it's got that long ribbing that flows into the pattern stitch. I love that.
The lace, yeah. Melmerby, I believe is what it's called. The charts don't look too intimidating. It looks like it would be a good project to carry around. And like I said, it's 2 skeins of the Bantam colorway. And then maybe my second favorite pattern in this book is the last one, and it's Appleby.
The hat?
Yeah, and it's in this gorgeous green. It's a single skein in the Chevin colorway, and at first glance it was nothing like super duper special, but as I started to look at more of the details and how the reverse stockinette is inside of these twisted lines and how it's all very thoughtfully done, it really, really makes me want to knit this hat. It doesn't hurt that I would like to be this girl.
She's very cute.
Gorgeous, pale-skinned, red-haired girl with the pierced nose and the like. When I think of what I would love to be this girl because she's very cute. But I do love the hat, and I definitely want to put this on my knitting list
How many skeins does that take? Because it looks like it's a bigger piece.
It's just one.
Just one? Wow.
Yes. So...
in the back, there's a words of wisdom section, which goes into how to read actual knitting patterns, which I always appreciate, and links to video tutorials and other reference sources. And then she's also got, which I love, a photo tutorial on some of the techniques used. So like afterthought thumb, a long tail cast on, and the Kitchener stitch. So... pretty cool.
Yeah, so like Laura said, it's £12 sterling. If you want to buy the physical book, you have to go to Rachel's site, and then you get there's a download code. I'll show you the first couple of letters of it. You get a download code on the inside of the book, which allows you to download the digital copy as well.
I didn't even notice that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we can get a digital copy as well.
Very nice. Rachel sent this for a review, and this is Coopknits Toasty Volume 1. Thank you so much, Rachel. She also sent us another book that we will be reviewing at a different time. So very, very cool. Thank you, Rachel. Those mitts are getting moved up in my queue pretty high.
Yeah, I definitely 2 thumbs up. I really like almost every single pattern in this book is one I can see myself knitting and wearing. So.
It's very young, modern, hip takes on cables and Farrow, for sure. We have a viewer question, and it was from Jay Goldman, and she asked, could you please tell listeners about ease and what does it mean? Well, we talked about a little bit in that book how there was positive ease. Positive ease is when you create more fabric so that you're between your actual measurement of something like your head and what you're actually knitting, there's space. When you use thicker yarns, you want more ease typically than if you were using like a fingering weight, because the yarn takes up space as well.
So some areas where ease is important.
Yeah.
For me, in socks, ease is important. I want a little bit of negative ease.
Because you want them to stay up.
Right. You want the socks to be snug on your foot. If they're loose, it's not necessarily going to hurt anything, but they're more likely to wear through. Yep. And they'll fall down or slip off or what have you.
Or turn your heel to the front of your sock as you're walking.
Yeah. So you want some negative ease. Also, for me, especially in sweaters, and it's something that I continue to let burn me to this day because I'm a dummy, but you want to think about when you see a sweater design that you really like, you want to look at the person who's wearing it in the picture, in the modeled pictures, which is another reason that I really love Ravelry's project gallery. You can go in and look at all different sizes of people wearing the garments. But you want to look at the model and you want to look at the measurements, and some people will even tell you, okay, the model is wearing a size 36 bust sweater with 3 inches of positive ease, which tells you the model has a 33-inch bust, but she's wearing a 36-inch garment, so it's going to naturally be looser and have some like swing and airiness to it. So you shouldn't expect that if you're 36 and you knit the 36, it's not going to look the same on you.
So a good plan with that is to look at schematics and see what the actual measurements are in your size on the schematic versus what they are, because sometimes people put for like a size 42 you would knit this size, but you don't know if the ease is built in or not. So to look at a schematic, that would be the best way to figure that out.
And sometimes it can sort of bite you, especially it seems in the last couple of years there's been a trend where very thin, lithe, sort of very skinny girls wear sort of boxier, sort of positive ease garments, which is, I mean, great, more power to you, wear whatever you want, but the problem comes in when maybe they're a 34-inch bust and they're wearing maybe the 38-inch size, and you go to look at the pattern and say you're a 42-inch size, and you see there's a 42, but you may not necessarily notice that the model's got 4 inches of positive ease, and so you have to account for that when you're knitting your garment. You definitely want to check into The ease that's either, you want to make sure that it tells you, is the ease built in, or is the model smaller than the bust size, and it tells you that. Like, that's something to consider. I don't know that we're helping or confusing people more on this topic.
Well, I think looking at both reading through a pattern and looking at the diagrams, if there are diagrams, is really helpful. I also feel like with socks, it's kind of implied that they're knit to a certain size, and you want to kind of figure in like an inch of negative ease to that.
Yeah.
With hats, a lot of people like Woolly Wormhead or Rachel Coopy will say, like, this is the size that you're knitting, this is the size head that it fits, and you can kind of look, and they also do diagrams a lot of times. So all those Tin Can Knits is awesome on diagrams. If you're looking to do your first sweater, Tin Can Knits has some wonderful ones, but there's tons of other people. But you want your first sweater, especially if you're uncertain about ease and other things, to have a diagram where you can see what size it says you are and whether or not you need to build in ease, either positive or negative. And sometimes sweaters do negative ease because they're more clingy and flattering.
Right, so
Dorian knits a lot of her sweaters with probably right on the number of ease because she likes that.
Or a little bit of negative because it looks great on her body because, you know, the way that her curves are structured, it looks best when she has, you know, a garment that's snug to her body. Me being someone who's been heavy almost all of her life, I prefer to have a little bit of positive ease just for comfort because I feel, you know, I don't know, I feel constricted when things are too snug on me, but that's a personal preference.
And I want to say with sweaters, you can always change the ease at the portion that you're knitting. Like, you might want a little bit of, like, positive ease up here just so you can move, but then you can decrease shoulders down, in different parts of your body. And a lot of that, you can either do that by increasing or decreasing stitches or simply changing your needle size,
which is a handy trick if you want to sort of pull in a little bit right under the bust, then you could just go down a needle size or two and it'll tighten in those stitches there. But it's all just experimental, and there's no rule that says you should only have negative ease if you're thin, and if you're big you should always have positive ease. You should wear what makes you happy, but I would also say go and look at people's Ravelry projects. If it's a pattern that's been out for a little bit, go and look at other people's projects and see, okay, this person is roughly the same size as me and she knit this size. You know, if I were to knit it, I might change this or this, but I like that it looks, you know, this way.
And you can always look at commercial sweaters that you enjoy wearing and look at what size they're knit to and how much ease that has on you.
Yeah, that's a good point as well.
For sure. But again, just to go back to, like, bulkier weight yarn that has a thicker circumference is going to take up more space, so you're going to want more ease the bigger the yarn that you're using. That makes sense as well.
It's one of the reasons that if you go into the Ravelry Advanced Pattern Search and you put in all the same requirements, you know, top down, cables, whatever, the difference between how many patterns when you click fingering versus how many patterns when you click bulky is huge. And there's a reason for that, because the finer weight yarns tend to be more flattering regardless of size than a bulkier weight. So it's hard to design a bulky weight sweater that's flattering for the reason Laura just implied, is the yarn takes up so much more space, so that it's harder to do anything with.
Well, it's just adding more weight to you. If it's got an inch circumference, it's adding an inch to you all the way around.
Right. Well, I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying, is it's just hard to do anything that's going to be flattering. But anyhow, I hope we didn't confuse you, because sometimes when we answer questions, I feel like we just give you more questions.
And that's fine, too. You can ask more questions.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
So we do have an Expand Your Horizons going on in April that I've been neglectful about talking about. It is CVM, which is also known as Ramondale fleece. I am currently processing a CVM fleece. I actually have two. I will pull some unwashed locks to show you guys crimp and staple length and some other stuff, but I'll open a thread for Expand Your Horizons, and it goes through May, so it'll be fun.
And we're really lax. If you decide not to do it until June, whatever.
That thread will still be there.
Yeah. I mean, our goal is to just get you to try new things, so.
Yeah.
Whenever you get around to it.
We have a giveaway this week. It is Made in America yarns.
Wayfarer. Mm-hmm.
In the Cranberry Harvest colorway, which kind of matches my shirt today.
I love that red.
It's a very nice, deep, dark red. And y'all have been, I've been enjoying, I think Vicky with no E cracked me up the most with her, her thing. But
what would she knit with it or something?
No, she'll take it with cat hair. And she wants that colorway. No one else take it.
So, it was 2 through what?
Hold on, I'm just now pulling it up. 2 through 194.
Okay.
I'm a little bit disorganized today. I'll just throw that out there.
Are. Okay. So let me pull this so I can see. So it is between 2 and 194. There is no number pulled yet, so let me push the button. The result is 17. First page.
I will laugh so hard if that's her.
Like...
she was 10.
Oh. That's kind of good, because it would seem like we fixed it if it was her.
It's JAF61205, who is Jennifer from Columbus, Ohio. I feel like I met her. I think I met her at Knitting Pipeline. She likes Olive Jar and Deft Blue. I swear I met her at Knitting Pipeline. Now I'm stalking her to see.
Oh, gosh.
No, I totally didn't. I'm just making stuff up. Maybe anyway. I just know her from the SSK board. Yep, because she just did a charity hat, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's coming to SSK.
Ooh, she made a very pretty Farrell sweater.
FOapos.
Anyway, I know, I'm all over the place today. If you'll PM me, Laura, your real name and address, I would appreciate it. Lala and Ravelry. And there you go. I do feel like I met her, though. I don't know. We have a giveaway for next week in honor of our 200th episode. There we go. And our anniversary. Leslie and I both rated our stash, and we each picked out 3 things to give away. Yeah. Do you want to alternate, or do you want to go first?
I'll go. It was really fun, actually, rating my stash, because I kept finding things like, oh, I forgot I had that. Oh, I need to use that. You know, I found some perfect day self-striping, and I was like, oh my god, I need to use it. So, and that's not something that I'm going to give away. I will never give away my perfect day, because that's
it's hard, because she's not dying anymore.
Yeah.
Anytime there's someone who's not dying, I'm always like,
Yeah. So, first is fiber. I got 1 fiber and 2 yarns.
Okay.
And this is Cloud Lover.
That's pretty.
Is, one of the fibers I just spun. This is a BFL, and it's in the Coastal colorway.
Pretty.
So it's a gradient, and it's 4 ounces of BFL.
She does really pretty stuff.
She does. So this is the first thing. The next thing is one of those things I had sort of been holding on to, thinking I was going to do something beautiful, and it's time for me to just pass it to somebody who actually will use it. So this is Sock Yarnista, the 3 Irish Girls, the McClellan fingering.
Oh,
and
pretty.
It is based off of a painting, The Water Lilies.
Oh, by Monet.
As I look at it, I can see it. I can see the colors. So it's 60% merino, 30% bamboo, and 10% nylon. It's a fingering weight yarn. And it's hard to tell, but there are hints of like the purples in there as well. So the colors are sort of hidden in the scheme. But so this is something I got, I believe, in a club, but it's so pretty. I just want somebody to use it.
I understand.
And that somebody isn't going to be me for a little while. You know, I have other things I want to make right now. And the last is Kirby Warby.
Oh, wow.
This is her kaleidoscope in the unicorn tail colorway. And so it's sections of white offset by sections of all these colors together, sort of the rainbowy colors. And it is 450 yards, superwash merino nylon, and 5% stellina, which is the sparkly stuff. So that's my third item for our 200 episode giveaway.
I have 3 items as well. One is a club. This is very funny. So it's not the same. It's from the Wool Girl Club. It's Dream and Color Smushy in the Raining Cats and Dogs colorway. So it's a nice
really good
brown.
base. Yeah.
So that's the first. The second looks like water lilies.
Oh, how cool.
And it's called Monet.
How cool.
And it's Jitterbug.
We did not talk. I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing
talk.
what she's giving away.
So,
and that's Jitterbug, right?
That's Jitterbug.
Which is a great base for socks.
Yep, and it's their old put up, so it's the 300 yards, something like 291 meters. So, 110 grams. And the third is self-striping. It is Continuum.
Oh, that's a great... string theory is one of those that's kind of hard to get now.
Yep, this was part of a club as well. This is the Oxygen colorway. It does 10 rose red, 10 rose violet, 10 rose white. Actually, the Loopy U carries String Theory Continuum now.
Yeah, that's true.
So, there you go. That's my 3. It's pretty funny. That we both picked out one self-striping, a club, and a Monet.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What else do we have to talk about?
So we'll start a thread in our Ravelry group where you can enter to win.
Yeah, can we do favorite Knit Girl moment? Because I love those. Those are my favorites.
Sure.
Because I'm just that self-centered.
Whatever. Whatever makes you happy, sweetheart.
It does make me happy, and I'm going to start the thread, so it's all about me. It's like my birthday month has continued.
Oh goody, both dogs are down here for something. What? It's so sad because Michael's out of town.
Yeah.
He's where Laura is.
So Michael's Leslie's fiance, just for people who might be new to the show.
He's also known as Mr. Awesome. That's just a name we started forever ago, which is silly, but whatever. Anyway, he's in Mississippi visiting his family, and it's so funny because normally when we get home from work, we'll walk in and the dogs go completely crazy. You know, they're just, oh my God, you know, and they're jumping and all this.
Daddy's home, yeah.
Yeah, and so I came home on Thursday, which was the day he flew out, and he wasn't with me, and Neelix was like, what is this crap? And he sat, like, we have a table right in front of our
your door.
Front window. And he sat on that little table and looked out the window for 3 hours, waiting for Michael to come home. It was pathetic. And,
that's so sad.
You know, because dogs don't have that retention of, you know, he'll come back. But anyway, it's going to be funny, because he's coming back late tomorrow.
Yeah, which is why I need my fiber, which is why I thought he might be at the door. Because Leslie had texted him saying, go over to Laura's and take her stuff.
Because I sent a bunch of stuff with him to give to her, and she has stuff that she needs to give to me.
Yes.
So we saved on shipping by shipping Michael.
By using Michael as a fiber mule.
Yeah. So,
which should be the title of the episode.
Fiber mule. There you go.
That's a good one.
And then another of my favorite things is I'm so glad it's spring. Oh my God. Like, it has taken... It snowed at the end of March, which I've never been anywhere where it snowed that late in the year.
It's snowing today in Colorado and other places.
Well, they're elevated higher. And I'm not talking about them, I'm talking about me.
No, but it snowed in, like, Ohio today.
But, anyway, the dogs are over there playing, so if you hear clicking nails, that's what that is. But, it's been so nice here. It's been in like the high 60s, low 70s. I've been driving with the windows down, and I ordered this hammock, and I've been sitting in the hammock almost all weekend. It's been so nice.
Is the hammock on your deck, or is it?
It is on the deck, yeah.
That's nice.
But it's like built so that it can be broken down and taken with you places. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. I need a hammock. I don't like spring because I had to mow my lawn for the first time.
There is that.
And
whereas
I
I have
an
enterprising young teenage boy who lives across the street from me who will do anything for $20. So, and I mean that in a not gross way. Like, he'll, you know, carry trash or help you pull weeds or whatever.
Shovel snow.
Yeah.
Mow the lawn.
I don't ever have to mow the yard because he just comes over every 2 weeks and does it for me.
That's nice. Yeah, I had to go get a lawnmower. So, that was not so nice.
But, that's it, really. We don't really have anything else. We don't have any upcoming events. Well, you're going to Vicksburg.
Events.
Right?
So, I am going to the International Reading Association Conference in New Orleans. I think it's the first weekend in May. I'm going to pull it up right now and give you all dates. So, if you are in the New Orleans area and you would like to meet up, let me know. Or if you are going to IRA, that would be awesome, and you'll have to let me know. I am going May 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So we won't record that weekend until probably the 13th, which is Tuesday. We probably could record Monday night. I should be back Monday night. It might be kind of later, though.
We'll figure it out then.
We're driving. So I'll be at IRA, and then I'll be in I'll be at Middle Tennessee Memorial Day weekend. I'll be at Vicksburg the following, just because I like going to Dixon. I'll con Eloise and Gail into going. I'll go to Vicksburg the weekend after that, which is like the last weekend in May. It's like May 30th, 31st, 29th, all those dates. And then I'll be in Mississippi for a long time. Till the end of June.
You'll be in Nashville.
Yeah, I'll be in Chicago in the end of June, and then I'll be in Michigan, July 4th weekend, and then I'll be in Nashville. And then I might be in Buffalo, New York, the first week in August, depending on how they vote on the school calendar. Or I might not be, because our governor decided to change his mind. So, we, 2 years ago, they passed a bill that we could not start school before the third week in August. And they postponed it last year, and this was going to be the first year that happened, and then the governor overrode the bill, I guess. So now we can start the first week in August again. So we might be going back August 2nd, we might be going back August 16th, we don't know yet. Yeah. So that's a difference of time.
That is 2 very long weeks.
But, it's so funny because I grew up in the North where you always went back the day after Labor Day. That's what happened. And so, and you always got out, the 7th of June. I graduated on the 4th of June. And it's so funny to me because, people, I was trying to convince my coworkers because we got to vote on which one we wanted, and I was trying to get them to vote for the later one, but school would get out June 2nd. Mm-hmm. And they won't vote on it because getting out in June is that is a no-go. We cannot do that.
We've had so many snow days. They started the week of Labor Day. I don't think it was the day after, maybe the Wednesday or Thursday, but he will be in school. My son is 11, and he will be in school until the 21st
of June. Wow, that's pretty late.
Because of all the snow days. I mean, probably after the second week in June, they're not going to be doing anything, but they have to be there.
They probably, if there's testing, they probably won't be doing much after testing's over. And testing dates are set way ahead.
Yeah.
We had to add a day onto the end, and then we lost Martin Luther King holiday. Yeah. Not Martin Luther King, President's Day.
We've had a week and a half of snow days. So.
That's crazy.
It actually snows here a lot, so.
I've heard that about New Jersey. I've heard that it snows in Pennsylvania and Jersey. It's I grew up there.
Yeah, I know, right?
But that is it. Spring is in sight. It's 80 degrees here, which is why I'm glowing a little bit. Because these lights are hot. So I'm going to let y'all go. And I'm going to see if Michael will meet up for dinner so I can get my fiber from the fiber mule.
Okay. Well, tell my husband hello.
I will. Ooh, I have a cat. All right, I will.
All right, bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.